Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Well, g'day and welcome to episode 9 of the Giddy Up podcast. My name is JT and of course I'm joined by the incredibly talented footballer, Mr. Donnie Elgin. Donnie, big
JT,
day.
I'll tell you what a day it's been, mate. I'm very mindful. It's every good game of footy has its ups and downs, and I think I rolled all of those into one game of footy today. Ups and downs.
Well,
mate.
what happened, mate? Tell us. I mean, we lived through the journey of round one. You didn't trouble a stats man too much, but you were better for the run. But now 2 weeks to recover. Refine your moves. How did it all go today?
Well, Mum's always taught me to be humble, but JT, the opposition kicked 1-1. And I kicked 1-2, so I won the game single-handedly off my boot.
So you've snagged a goal. You got your first goal.
I got my first goal, JT. I kid you not. Like 3 Paralympics, 4 World Champs, 2 World Cups, a Commonwealth Games.
Yep.
Doesn't come close to what it's like to be inundated by your teammates when they get around you. It was bloody awesome, JT.
Mate, you got to talk me through the goal. Like, were you 50 out into a big headwind, or what was the story?
Well, yeah, I had 5 each side. I was brushing them off and bloody... No, actually, my blokes could not have fed me any better if I paid them. We were... the first one was put straight down my throat, and that was the first point. That sort of got the monkey off the back that I'd actually get a possession. And then which also has its own story. But the goal, that was actually... I was running back. I was really just trying to make some space. And over the top, nice little handball, straight them up. We go, holy shit, what do I do now? They're coming at me thick and fast, bang on the boot, through the big sticks, giddy up, mate.
Bang, did it.
There's a bit of a celebration like this, JT. I didn't get my gear off because I was a bit too tight, the jumper. I was a bit, thought this could take 15 minutes. So anyway, it was bloody exciting though, JT.
Well, I'm very excited now, Donnie. Of course, you always talk it up and, well, we may have just got some vision.
Oh, no. JT, I did tell you it was an up and down sort of day.
Well, I just want to paint the scene for people because, of course, not everyone watches this on video and some people are going to listen to the podcast. So I'm just going to walk people through this, Donnie, as we play the video. So this is going to be very exciting.
It's got footy channel waste. Is this Channel 7 or Channel 9?
No, this was a Foxtel. Foxtel streamed the whole game, mate. So here we go. So we're crossing live now to all going well. If you're lucky, this won't play, I tell you.
I'm very happy about it. If it doesn't play, JT, because I was there, I know what happened.
Hang on, I'm just trying to work this out.
No, you take it. That's all right. Let's move on to the next episode.
I've talked it up. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. The lines it up. Donnie on the big lead. Comes out. He's marked. Oh, he's dropped it. No, he's hung on to it. Oh, Donnie, this is very exciting here. He's number 40, stands on the mark. He's a good, at least 10 metres from goal. Donnie directly in front. Surely couldn't miss from here. He comes in, steps in, goes to kick it. He's fallen over. His legs come off. And the ball has gone through for a behind. We are 1 behind and 1 leg for Donnie. What the hell, Donnie? What happened?
Mate, I'll tell you what. I started celebrating early. I got legless after my first kick. During my first kick, I shit myself, to be honest. It was not what I was expecting. I'd actually done a little bit of running around before then and I'd heated up. And so my leg was a little bit slippery. And that shit's never happened like that before. It's never actually just slipped off. But then again, I've never really had a kick of the footy either. So, but, mate, I'll tell you, it was an interesting day, JT.
No, that's bloody awesome, mate. And unfortunately, we didn't actually get footage of you getting the goal, which is we got the footage of your foot and leg coming off, however, so that video will remain priceless. So, but look, we'll just come back in a couple of weeks when you snag a few more.
Well, I did predict in the early message out to the podcast listeners that I'd have a crack at 3 today. So kicking 1-2, I gave myself a good chance. I just didn't live up to it. So, mate, we might have to get a couple of our guests back, Swanee and Mickey Roberts, and ask them what it was like when they kicked their first and see if they remember if their leg come off.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You guys just reminisce of the old days. And, well, mate, it is very exciting. Now, of course, last time we did a show, which was a couple of weeks ago, we went a little bit over. We crapped on way too much. So we've got a goal tonight to have this wrapped up in under an hour, which means we have to just keep things moving the whole way, Donnie. Are you up for it? Can we do it?
Mate, I tell you what, I have not run my full race for today, JT. I'm pumped and ready to go. I do need to remind us that we did say to people about their favourite footy teams, and they've sent in their favourite ice creams, and I've been inundated by people telling me, hey, don't forget to put my bloody footy team and ice cream on there. So that'll be on the big wheel later on. And JT, this is going to be a big show. What do we got first? Have you got some of that fancy intro music to something?
Sure.
Weird, wonderful, and wacky.
Yes, our weird, wonderful, and wacky episodes. And Donnie, to be honest, I can't remember what the hell I've actually got for this, but I did pick out a couple of really exciting things that I wanted to share with our viewers. And as soon as I can open up the run sheet in front of me, there it is. Yes, this one. Now, Donnie, you know how sometimes you have things next to your bedside table. You thought I might have a bit of water if I need a drink in the middle of the night, or what else do you have? Anything
is it
particular?
Before 9? We normally talk about this sort of stuff before 9 o'clock.
No, this is PG. This is all good. There's nothing wrong here. So
we won't talk about my bedside. Let's talk about yours, JT. Back at it.
Well, no. So, look, I used to wear contacts back in the day, contact lenses, right? And sometimes, you've got the contacts now that you can leave in overnight,
right?
But sometimes, they might get a little bit dry or something. So you reach for the drops and whack a couple of drops in, keep it nice and lubed, and everything's very happy. Well. Yep. See, there was a lady, a Michigan woman, Donnie, and she was very organised. She also wore contacts, and she kept eye drops next to the bed. Very smart, in case you ever dry out. But
makes sense.
Yeah, well, that's what I would have thought. But she also kept some nail glue, because she would just do her nails sometimes and had a bit of nail glue on.
Oh, no, JT, I can sort of see where this is going.
Yeah, it happened. It actually happened. So she woke up in the middle of the night and said, just drop a couple of drops into my eyes of nail glue.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. So what's happened, JT? Like she never get the contacts out again, or was it?
Not surprisingly, she was unable to open her eyes and ended up. We should laugh, should we? But we are, so she ended up having to go to hospital, and thankfully they were able to prise her eyes open. We're not sure that any residual damage, but this is not the first time it's happened, Don. Doing extensive research for this show as I do, I came across another woman here. This is Katie Gato in 2015 who did exactly the same thing.
No, do people not learn that shit, JT? Do they not learn that?
It would appear not, Donnie. So the community service basically here is, please, whatever you do not keep anything related to glue anywhere near your bedside table.
Yeah, the lube bit I understood, but the glue bit you lost me. So, well, there you go, JT. That's weird, wacky, and not so wonderful for her.
Now, Donnie, you remember back in the day in the 80s, you'd go down, nothing better than going down to the video shop on the Friday night, or you'd go down and you'd spend an hour just walking through, going, which video should I get? You'd read the front cover, you look at the back cover, and then, of course, the latest one would be bloody, sold out, and you couldn't watch it that night. You'd have to go on a wait list and all that sort of stuff. But did you ever sort of get a movie, Don, where you just thought, that's a bloody ripper, I want to watch that a few more times, and, you may have just accidentally forgot to take it back? Did that ever happen?
Oh, like a library book, just hold on to it.
Yeah, that's right.
Set up. No, because I'm pretty strict parents that didn't take any crap. If it meant to go back, it went back. So, but no, I must admit, we had a fair whack of video, so we didn't go down to video easy too many times up the bush. However, I get the feeling that the person you're talking about didn't take a video back, JT.
Yeah, well, it seems to be that a lady is actually charged with embezzlement for failing to return a VHS video that she rented 21 years ago.
She got charged for it.
She got charged. This happened back in 2000. Now, the actual store closed in 2008, and she had no idea about this. The first she ever found out about it, she went to change her name after getting married recently. And when she went to change their name, they said, actually, there's an issue that you need to contact the courts about. They gave her a reference number, and so she rang up, and she's a wanted felon for a VHS tape. It had been on her record for 20 years, and she said she'd been applying for a lot of jobs and she never got them. And she goes, now I know why, because when they did the criminal check, it had felony embezzlement as a charge. And on top of that,
harsh.
Donnie, she didn't even bloody do it. It was a Sabrina the Witch video. And I don't know if you remember Sabrina.
Oh,
and,
yeah. The Teenage Witch, yes.
But she reckons it wasn't even her. She reckons it was just someone she was seeing at the time must have rented it. And so she knew absolutely nothing about it. So, talk about pretty harsh penalty for the old VHS tape.
Geez, well, it's probably worth a bomb now anyway, given that, VHS is a sort of a thing of a past, really.
Well, that's true. It's what a way to go out, eh? If you're going to go to court, geez, imagine explaining that one. Oh, sorry, Judge. It's
I had no clue. Yes,
that's exactly right. Now, Donnie, that's it, because we're just short and sharp on every segment tonight because we've got to get through this. So we're going straight into yours, which this is where we go back in time, Donnie. I love this one.
Once upon a time.
Well, JT, I was thinking about back in time. I thought, how far can I go back? And so what I did is I actually just grabbed the date, May 2, and I thought, what happened on this date back in May 2? And so this is what I found in different years. Okay, I've got a few for you. So
what did happen? I'm interested.
The Loch Ness Monster, JT.
Yes, the famous Loch Ness Monster, yes.
Well, the fame began on this day in 1933, JT. So that was the first sighting, or one of the first sightings of the Loch Ness Monster, and since then it's had different levels of popularity over the years. But of course, that's in Scotland, up in the colder parts. But
you've been out that way, Donnie. Did you have a squeeze?
I did go sort of that way and didn't see it myself. Like I cut a quick lap. Admittedly, we were off to a little town called Elgin, and I hadn't booked any accommodation, so it was sort of I was a bit pre-distracted, JT. It was either sleeping in the car when there's a Loch Ness bloody monster somewhere. No, I'll find accommodation. So anyway, that was in what I say, 1933. How's this, JT? Not that far back, 2011. I've got one for you. Remember this fella? Osama bin Laden.
Oh, yeah.
That name ring a bell?
Good guy, wasn't he? Good Osama.
Bit of a badass, JT.
No,
allegedly, he's got his dirty little fingerprints all over September. Look at that head. Anyway, well, you can't see that living anymore because allegedly he's gone whacked. In 2011, this was the day that he was all over Red Rover. The US Army stormed his little joint, his little bloody tin shack in where was he? I don't know, buddy, out somewhere where the Navy SEALs just rocked up and said, mate, we're going to take care of this business, and then flew him out to the ocean, said, right, get out, you haven't paid your rent. So that was in 2011. JT, I did a little bit more research, and I know you won't have any photos of this, but I wanted to throw a couple at you because we're flying. The Rock. You know The Rock?
Like The Rock,
Not
the
like
famous
Rock,
movie star. The
yes,
Rock. Yeah, we know The Rock.
JT, today is his birthday, 1972. The Rock was born.
Is it really?
Yep. It is.
You know what really scares me about that, Donnie?
What's that?
Well, The Rock and I are born in the same year. Now,
it got about the same bank accounts too, I reckon.
Geez, don't I wish? And have you seen his rig? I mean, my God, it puts all of us to shame.
It is.
The same, and I can't go, well, he's a bit younger than me. That excuse isn't flying, Donnie.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
It's a very impressive
he has
rig.
got a ripping rig, and of course he's got little mini rock happening. Pebbles is his little show that's going on at the minute. JT, a couple more for you. 1997, Tony Blair become the Prime Minister of the UK.
Yep.
Remember that? Yep. So what about this, JT? Slipping right back a bit further, 1946, JT. May 2, 1946, Alcatraz. There was an attempted escape, and it started all bloody hell broke loose. Battle of Alcatraz on May 2, 1946, and they fought for 2 days in there. It was a bloodbath. It was bloody hell on earth. But anyway, that was 1946, so that was the first one. And JT, one final one for you. Your old mate, Bill Clinton.
Billy.
The cigar bloke.
What's he done?
Well, on this day in the year 2000, when we were all getting ready for the Olympics and Paralympics coming up later in the year, Bill gave the all clear for one of your probably segments coming up about the, geeky stuff. He gave the all clear for GPS to be used commercially outside of military. How about that?
Wow, that was Bill Clinton. I did not know that.
There you go, mate. See,
Donnie,
that's what my research does.
This
JT.
is incredible when you do research. This is amazing. I'll have to do this more often. Oh.
No, let's not.
Oh, dear, oh, dear. All right, Donnie, it just so happens on the run sheet that you're about to take aim at someone. Dickhead of the week.
You suck.
Now, JT, I had a little giggle at that dear who had her, who did the eye drops thing and put the glue on there, and you said there was somebody else and they had not learnt. And I just go, you know what is it with humans that we don't bloody learn lessons? My beautiful daughter and my previous two beautiful daughters have gone to Parkdale Secondary College, and it was in the news recently.
It was.
And it was in the news because there was a Kingston City Council Youth Services decided that they would be engaged by the school, which they are, which is fantastic, to deliver different things. And I go to a lot of schools, JT, and there's one thing I'm very mindful of is being able to read the play on the day. And this was appalling because we've already had experiences of it. And it was that young boys were asked to stand up and apologise, JT. And if you recall...
What did they do? Were they being naughty or yelling in class,
no, JT,
throwing things at the teacher?
For all the misdemeanours that have gone by for being privileged, JT, we might have touched on this a little bit. And for all their sexist comments that have been made, and just for literally being responsible for everything that's gone before them, JT. And of course, there was bloody uproar. Families wrote into the school and said, this is bullshit. The principal got stuck into the council and said, hey, we didn't sign up for this. This is not what we stand for. And I was rapt to actually see it unfold and to see people go, that's bullshit. We saw that earlier in the year. And that was the letter that the council wrote out to all the families of the that go to that school. So admittedly, the council stood up and said, right, we'll look into this, and that's not right. That's not what we're about. So JT, my dickhead of the week is that that person that delivered that presentation that absolutely had not learnt from what we saw earlier in the year through this exact same situation.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair call. So dickhead of the week is, well, is it that person or is it the council for actually endorsing it?
Well, mate, the council have a lot of things, and I don't know that they always know. And they come out in that letter and said, hey, we don't endorse that. That's not what we thought. So clearly they're not proof checking or fact checking every presentation that goes before it's delivered. So I just think that somebody in this feel good world decided that that's the stance they want to take, and they missed the mark, JT.
You bloody ripper. Well, we might have just heard a little bit of, dickhead of the week, let's face it. But let's bring some good stuff in, Donnie. So there was a recent survey done in the UK, and it was interesting because it's talking about just getting old and the difference that you feel mentally about things. And they found that the age that you stop worrying about what other people think of you is 46.
JT, I've peaked early. I've stopped giving a shit years ago.
So 46, according to this new poll, they surveyed about 2,000 adults that were over 55. And they said that 42 was the age that they felt comfortable in their own skin, and 40 was the age that they became content in their careers. So I just thought it was quite interesting, isn't it? Because we're obviously around that age, and you look back now and you sort of think, geez, you're growing up, you really do tend to care what other people think, and you might put on this brave exterior that you don't. And obviously for you, Don, given we've spoken a lot about this on all the podcasts, when you grow up a little bit different and you're missing bits and all that sort of stuff, it probably even amplifies that even more.
Yeah, there's no doubt, JT, you have times in your life. And I mean, I don't think me being different would be like, there's some things that we all have similarities across the human spectrum. And for me, it is there is a genuine concern about what people think. And sometimes those people are just your parents. You want their endorsement. For other times it's your mates. For some of the people, it's a much wider audience. And it's interesting you say 46, JT, because I've found, I'm serious when I say I reckon I worked that out a little while ago. And it was by watching people that I thought that had that got it and they were comfortable in their own skin. And I started looking and going, well, what is it? And what it was is that they just weren't giving a shit about what other people thought. And we hear it with footy clubs, you know, if you're not in the inner sanctum, then we don't really care about what you've got to say.
Yep.
And I'm honestly, JT, I look at it and go, mate, my family is my world. And outside of that, then, you know, you've got your close mates. And then it dwindles away pretty quickly after that in terms of how much value I put in what people think about me.
Yeah, that's right. What advice? I mean, you obviously talk at school. So, what advice do you give to kids that are there that are very impressionable and do sort of care? Because it's easy for us to say as adults, hey, you know, back yourself. Who gives a shit? But that's pretty hard when you're a bit younger, right? So, what advice would you give?
Yeah, well, sometimes, JT, it's as simple as saying, just asking people to have a look back and go, do you remember what you did 5 years ago? You know, how important was it? How important today is it that what happened 5 years ago? And most kids, depending on, you know, what age they're at, are thinking back, you know, if they're in grade 6, then 5 years ago, they'll probably learn to tie their shoelaces and might have got a few bloody granny knots wrong. And it doesn't really matter. And that's the value of being able to look back at something and go, hang on a minute, I put all that concern into something. It may or may not have happened. And here I am today. So change is our greatest asset, JT. It sticks with us. If you don't like something, just hang in there, mate. You just got to ride it out and things will change. And I reckon I'm not too far on saying that I've got a half a dozen mates that I went to school with, but once upon a time, my school was my entire world. And then you get into a sporting environment and that becomes your entire world. And our worlds shift as we move along, JT. So my advice is just shift with it. Don't be too afraid to find who you are as soon as you can and then run with it.
There we go. Good advice brought to you by the Giddy Up podcast and, of course, Don Elgin. Triple Paralympian. All right, we are moving at a rapid pace on this bloody episode, Donnie. So we're going straight into our next segment.
Geek of the Week.
Now, Donnie, geez, I'm bloody close there. I don't want to look at myself that close. That's almost scary.
I can just about see what you're thinking.
I know. Oh, Jesus. One of the things I mentioned this, over a couple of episodes or shows ago was the Mars, and that they've got this new landing on Mars, and they had a helicopter or a little drone that they've taken on there, and it was geared up, ready to do its first ever flight. And it was a pretty big deal because it's the first time in history that humans have ever actually put another vehicle on and remote controlled flight. So it's happened, and not only has it happened since our last show, they've actually now had 4 flights in. I do have a little bit of footage that I'm able to share with you, and we'll be able to talk you through this, I hope. Oops, not that one. What is it?
Jeez, I did good to get it on TikTok quick.
That's some footage I'm going to show you later on. Here we go. Oh, no, actually, you know what? I don't know. No, that's the same one. Maybe I don't have the bloody footage.
But JT, was it a case of, like in a nutshell, did they nail it? Or like 4 flights, so clearly the first one didn't crash.
Absolutely nailed it. So they started off with just a little tiny hover, and then went down, and then they started a bigger hover and a bit of lateral movement. And this last one, it went where are we? It climbed to 5 meters, and then went 133 meters back and to the left, and then came back again. So 266 meters in total. It was in the air for 117 seconds. So pretty impressive, and obviously they're going to keep pushing the boundaries, and eventually it'll die its death over there. But pretty incredible that we've been able to pull it off as a race.
And JT, a question without notice: do you know how's it powered? Like, is it a little battery thing? Is it how's it going?
Yeah, they're running. Everyone's taking a piss out of me
Miranda,
for showing a
see-
bit of water.
see,
I love it,
that's-
guys. It's
That's what I like about our listeners.
They're on it.
All your
They-
shit,
They
JT.
don't cop me any slack, do they? I
Look,
tell you.
they're bloody coming
It's,
thick and
if you listen on the
fast,
podcast, I
Miranda.
accidentally showed a video with a car in water, which we're going to see later, and everyone's just giving it to me. Nice work, guys.
Well. He's got a piece of
Solar powered. It's solar, Donnie. So the unit actually
so they're still
recharges
charging
itself.
up with the sun and stuff.
Yeah,
Is it
absolutely. Yeah.
Our sun? Is it a different sun? You'll
Hey.
have to excuse my
Yeah,
geography.
it's our son, mate. It's
Astrological.
yep.
It's our sun. So
Yep.
our sun is charging a little helicopter up there on Mars.
Yep.
Holy shit, that's impressive.
Very, very impressive. So that was my little geek of the news, and I can't spend any more time on it because we're
Righto.
going to keep moving.
Move along.
Now we're going to discuss stuff, Donnie. Now I don't even have a stinger for. Geez,
What are we
even,
gonna
mate, even Hayden's getting into me. Bloody hell, mate! Your kids are getting into me, Donnie. This is outrageous.
Legend.
Now, I just every now and then I just want to throw out some potentially controversial topics to discuss, and I thought I'd throw this one at you, Don, because when you were growing up, we've all probably got those photos of us in the nud running around the backyard or doing something silly, but there was a photo recently of an actress, a famous actress that took a photo with her child. Now she was completely naked.
Right.
All her bits were covered, so there was nothing, rude or exposed. And her 8-year-old boy had undies on, so there was nothing. Again, there was nothing showing at all. And I'm going to show the video if you are watching this. You can see this photo now. But just to explain it, she's just kneeling down on the ground. Hair is covering all her private parts. You can't see anything. She's just holding the hands of her boy and looking in his eyes. It's actually, I think, quite a beautiful photo. What do you think, Don?
JT, that's an interesting one. You know what? I had a photo, and I still remember the photo very clearly. I'm lying in a floating thing in a pool, and I've got my daughter, who would have been about 6, naked, and I've got my swimmers on, but she's lying on top of me, and there's a photo of us just, she just jumped in for a swim start. It's a no big deal, when your kid's like that. So I reckon this is the challenge we have in society. Is once upon a time that was our private stuff, and it would be not that there's anything that we need to hide, but it would be in a photo album, and the world wasn't looking at that. We all, like you said, we have those photos in the bath where we're starkers, and it's cute to see your kid finally having a bath and all those sort of things. That photo there, I haven't got a clue what any sort of outrage would be over that, to be honest. So I thought that was very tasteful, that photo.
Well, wasn't just outraged, Don. She received 90 days jail.
But for what? Like, what's the issue?
She was found guilty of posting obscene material. It was classed as obscene material.
But what? And that's fair enough. But what's obscene? Like, I'm missing something here, JT. Is it that there's a kid that?
I'm with you, but the judge expressed his concerns that there was a lot of child abuse. It was from Ghana, and there was a lot of child abuse and posting of obscene material. And his concern was that, well, did she ask? I'm quoting this. Did she ask for permission of the child before posting the picture? Did she respect the child's rights? No, she didn't. She did what she thought was a great photo, but she violated the kid's rights in the process of that and received 90 days jail. Now, to be fair, there was a couple of other things thrown in with her 3 months in jail. That was one of them, but she was found guilty of posting obscene material.
So interesting, JT. So the judges now, and I get it, the judge has got a tough gig and they've got to speak on behalf of kids. But seriously, if the answer to that question is yes, she did ask, and yes, the kid's cool with it, then what's the judge's stance then? Like, seriously, if we let kids make all the decisions, they'll be having chocolate for breakfast bloody every day of the week. And, there'd be no such thing as school because they wouldn't be going, they'd be stuck on iPads, and that'd be the end of it. So, yeah, at some point, we as parents have got to be responsible for it. And I'm the first person, mate. The child abuse and abuse to women, I'm outraged with that shit. And there's zero tolerance for it. But I'm struggling, JT. I'm struggling to see where the offence and the abuse is with a photo of a loving, like, seriously, no, you got me. I don't get it, JT. I cannot understand what would offend anybody by seeing that photo.
Well, it's just a different world we live in, Donnie, because said she was found guilty. We can't spend any more time on it because we're rushing, Don. We are rushing. We're up against the pump.
Hey, JT, it would be bloody awesome to hear from our listeners, though, what they reckon.
Oh, would be. And to answer your question, Scott, in terms of what country, it was in Ghana. But she was a US rapper. So, so yeah, there you go. All right,
going to jail is good for rappers anyway, isn't it? They love that shit. It's
that's right. Notoriety and stuff. All right, here we go.
JT's Pick of the Week.
Now, Donnie, my pick of the week, I'm still on the Mars thing. I'm bloody excited about it because not only have we put, this bloody thing on there where helicopters flying and all that sort of stuff, the next step, of course, we want to send humans out there, but there's just this slight problem that we can't breathe.
What is it?
Yeah, it's a slight problem. We can't breathe. Not enough oxygen on Mars to breathe. And
those people want so much.
Yeah, I know, right? So, but the good, smart people here at NASA, they've come up with this little thing called MOXIE. And I know what you're thinking, Donnie. You're going, what the hell is MOXIE? Well, MOXIE is short for Mars Oxygen In Situ Resource Utilization Experiment. I know.
Of course it is.
Yeah, much easier to say MOXIE, I've got to tell you. But what's exciting about MOXIE is that it produced about 5 grams of oxygen, which is the equivalent of about 10 minutes worth of breathing in an experiment. So they just did that on Mars. So for the first time, they have produced
created
oxygen. Yep, they have used this electrolysis, I should say. I don't even think that's how you pronounce it. And basically, they use extreme heat to separate oxygen atoms from molecules of carbon dioxide and create oxygen. So this
I tried to do that shit in my science class in Year 9, got kicked out for it, JT.
Pretty impressive, right? You should work at NASA,
I was using a Bunsen burner. Yeah.
So bloody exciting though. Seriously, I mean that's quite impressive to So it just goes to show that we sort of dream as a race that we will be able to live on another planet at some point, and these are just little inroads, little steps that one day I'm sure will actually make it happen. So that was just a pretty exciting step.
So, JT, is there space for MOXIE to go big time here on Earth? Because we're under the impression that it's trees that create the oxygen from our carbon monoxide. So is that, are we looking to bring that home here or not?
Oh, I love that you are just a deep thinker, Donnie. I mean, you're not just a footballer who goes out and kicks 1-2 with one leg. No, you are thinking deep. Well, apparently it does, obviously, in the experiment there, it requires a huge amount of heat, and therefore to create that heat, and therefore requires a lot of energy. So I'm not sure if the efficiency would be worth it on a large scale. But of course, as we get better with power supplies and blah, 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 then who knows?
I've got solar panels on my roof, JT. Look at us go.
There you go. Well, you can just do an experiment, get your Bunsen burner out again and do some experiments.
We'll get the cameras for
who knows? Sucker. That's right. Who knows what could happen?
I'll use my neighbour's mum's.
Whoops. I did pull the trigger a little bit quickly there, Donnie. Now, of course, one of the things this is everyone's favourite segment. Now we know that people are always looking for a hero in life, Donnie. There's just not enough of them.
Yes.
And I love that the way we do this run sheet now is we just split things up and we go, you know what, I'll do these ones and you do these ones. And Donnie, the people just they are hanging for this. I honestly thought Dad Joke of the Week was the most popular segment, but no, I was wrong. It was Hero of the Week, Donnie. So what have you got for the great people this week?
JT, I couldn't find a hero, so I went back to my distillery and made the world's best vodka, JT. Cheers. No hero of the week. Move on, JT. This is a quick show tonight. Donuts.
Donnie's Pick of the Week.
Oh, now, JT, I'm very big on taking the piss out of me, out of my leg coming off playing footy. I'm happy to take the piss out of disabled people every day of the week, mate, because that's my camp. And after all, I'm one of them, and I feel very bloody privileged sometimes to live in a country that allows me to live the quality of life that I do. But every now and then I get what we describe as what's called inspiration porn, when someone dishes up something that, in theory, it's really inspirational. It's just like, yeah, give me a break. It doesn't cut it. But I did find one, JT, in all my extensive research, a team that I'd like to bloody go and watch, JT. And the reason I'm bringing it here is because they are the Poweroos, JT.
The Poweroos? Who the hell are the Poweroos, mate?
Not the bloody North Melbourne Kangaroos. These are the Poweroos. This is a soccer team, a football team, right?
Footy, soccer, footy, yeah.
Yeah, all football, soccer, yep. When you see how they're playing, mate, they can call them whatever they bloody like.
Right.
They are electric wheelchairs, JT.
Ooh.
And they take no prisoners. Now, what I really like about it is often when we see people when they've been a bit shafted with the cards of life, and you go, you poor bastard, you can only move with the help of somebody else or with some wires or blowing through a tube that moves a wheelchair. What I love about mankind is we say, yeah, well, I can move, so let's play sport. And that's the Poweroos, JT. They move their wheelchairs with any way they possibly can. So some of them have got the muscles that can use their hands, others use their neck to control it. And seriously, we have, JT, I'm bloody standing on my soapbox here, we have the world's best. The world's best. Yep.
Have you got some footage, Donnie? I want to see these guys in action.
You're the guru over there with the control. So I say now and you play it. Now. Or soon now. So we're bound to have some footage, JT. Oh, no. I was out with my camcorder filming.
You sent me nothing. I've got nothing.
Oh, shit. All right. Okay. There's no, we'll have it. Let's put something on the site, JT. I'm sure.
All right. We will get something up because I want to see them in action. I mean, you've talked them up big time. They're the world's best. We've got to see.
That's right. And we've got, JT, October 22. We've got the World Cup coming up. And guess what?
We're in it.
Sydney's the host, mate.
Sydney. The winner is Sydney.
Yep. Sydney. So we're going to host the bloody electric chairs football team World Cup, and it's going to be big, mate.
Very, very exciting. Now, this show is flying. Next up, we're going to be talking to Nant live, so very exciting.
She's coming back.
Yeah, she's coming back. We're addressing an audience question, so that's exciting. We got Mick coming up from where's he come from, Donnie?
Oh, the Yarra Valley Big
There we go. Yeah, Big Mick's back. We've got some prizes to give away as well. We've got the big wheel. We've got jokes. We've got a lot to go, and we've only got about 25 minutes, Donnie.
JT, and I've got a question for Nant. So can we dial her in?
Let's do it. Let's see if we can get the wonderful Nant across. We will do it
I've got one.
now.
One of the listeners dialed this, sent this through to me. So if we can get her, I'm going to ask her this.
I reckon we've got Nant there. We just need to say hello and take ourselves off mute.
Hello, Nant. Victor, Charlie, come in, please.
Can you hear me?
We can.
We can, mate. We can indeed.
Beautiful.
Through the power of this podcast, we can hear you. Nant, before you say a word, I've got a question for you. It was sent in from a real dodgy human. Why do feet smell and noses run? You're the health minister.
Is this a joke or is that an actual question?
No, that's my question. Sent in from a real living human.
What's the question? Why do feet smell?
Why do feet smell and noses run? Go figure.
Tell me the end.
Don't answer that. Move on, Ned. You didn't come here to listen to my crap.
We're off to a strong start. We actually did have a real question from a listener.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, Ev asked us last week. His question was, what does Nant think about keto diets? So, Nant, over to you. Tell us all about keto and diets.
Now, I know we haven't got much time. This could be a 2-hour topic, but there's a few things I just want to address. Firstly, the average person goes on about 2 diets a year, 2 fad diets a year, equaling about 100 diets in their lifetime. So this is a $78 billion industry. If diets worked, it wouldn't be a $78 billion industry. So that's the first thing. The other thing is, there's a very big difference between a therapeutic eating plan done for you by a professional and a diet. So all diets are restrictive and controlling and the absolute wrong thing to do by yourself and your body because they never address the underlying causes. Food is a symptom of the underlying problem. It's never the problem. So I liken it to, imagine never learning how to drive a car, never having a car, never knowing how to navigate. but you get a cab instead. So you're always relying on someone external to do things for you. So instead of understanding your body, what it needs, what it wants, and when, you're relying on something else to look at the way that you weigh, really. It has nothing to do with health. The other thing that I just want to address is that it's never a one size fits all. I have some patients that do quite well on keto. I have many that don't do well at all on keto. It doesn't suit them at all. So what we need to understand is not only it is not a one size fits all for everyone. So say Mark in the office does really well on keto and you think, well, I'll do that too. It's not only not for everyone, but we need to understand that our body has different nutritional requirements basically every day. So that depends on less or more sleep, less or more exercise, less or more stress, relationships, finances, work, family. There are so many things that we need to look at physically, emotionally, mentally, and soulfully to do with what's happening with our body and what our body needs each and every day. So don't diet, don't do it to yourself. Make sure that you actually learn the skills to understand what your body needs and wants and when on a daily basis. You're never going to have to worry about diets again, but you will know how to get your body into an optimally healthy position, which means that your body goes to its natural healthy weight and shape anyway. So shape is not weight. Your body at its perfectly healthy shape that is right for you. You look great, you feel great. That has nothing to do with weight and nothing to do with dieting. So don't diet, don't do it.
There you go, Ev. You've been told. And so if people, of course, are going, okay, well, if I don't do that and I don't follow fad diets and I need to do all that stuff, and they're going, well, I wonder how they do that. Well, guess what? You just need to keep tuning in to the Giddy Up podcast because Nat's going to share tips with us every single week. So if you've got any other questions that you would like to ask Nan about health or fitness, very separate things, feel free to fire in the question. As you can see, as we did for Ev, we will make sure we get that question answered live for you on air. Nat, thank you very much.
Thanks, Ev. Thanks, guys.
See you next
Ned,
week.
you're a bloody superstar. And just for the record, JT, I was intently listening and I have written down food is never the problem. Guess who's going for a Big Mac after this? You bloody
dear.
ripper. Thanks, Ned. Love your work.
Oh, God. See you, Nat. There we go. So, it is true. There are so many fad diets out there. And it's interesting, isn't it? On average, people try two diets a year. And I think I've probably been guilty of the same. You hear of someone, oh, yeah, Billy's doing this one. Oh, I might give this a crack. Oh, what's the 5-2 diet? Oh, yeah, that sounds, I'll do that. And keto. Yeah, no worries. It's so
JT,
true, isn't it?
what was the value of that industry?
The value
The
of,
shitload. We were in the wrong
billions.
industry.
Billions.
We're going to start selling diets.
Billions. And so, all right, we got to keep moving, Donnie. I just want to address something that Miranda has just popped up saying a couple of weeks ago we gave a trolley hack, life hack around Woolies, and she's called us out and said it didn't work. Now, I just want to say, Miranda, I will be addressing that later in the show. And
hang on.
I will be addressing it.
Good.
You heard it.
JT,
We will be addressing
I've
it.
also had some fan mail sent in loving that shit. So this will be interesting when you get to that topic.
Yeah, we're going to address it.
Stay tuned, Miranda.
Stay tuned. Now, of course, the Money Whisperer has been giving us some fantastic tips every week, and this week is no exception.
G'day guys, it's the Money Whisperer here with your weekly update on all things money and finance. Interesting move by a couple of the major banks lifting their fixed interest rates that have been at historical lows, many of them under 2%. So I think that could be the start of a bit of a move from a few of the banks there to start moving those fixed interest rates up. So it's still a wonderful opportunity while they're still incredibly low to fix in at around the 2% mark and get a $3,000 or $4,000 refinance rebate. It's such a rare opportunity. I encourage you all to seriously consider having a look at that to see whether that suits your individual situation. Also, we often get asked about managing kids' money and the best way to sort of introduce the concept of budgeting, etc., to young kids. And there's an app called spriggy.com.au where kids actually get or anyone in the family can, but especially the kids, can get a debit Visa card, which they can design themselves, and their pocket money is given to them on that. And it's a great tool for budgeting how they spend their money. You can go back and look at the patterns over time of how they've spent their money, and then you can start educating about investing a percentage of it and watching the investment grow, or save some money, or just in what are the patterns for how they're spending their money as their pocket money increases as they get older. It's a great tool. I've only recently been introduced to it myself, and I think it's a great tool for kids. So check it out, spriggy.com.au. I'll talk to you guys next week. Cheers. Bye.
Oh, he's bloody good, isn't he, Don?
JT, I'm absolutely with that information about Spriggy. It's SPRIGGY, and it's a little app, and you can get that. I listened to Money Whisperer, and I love his work, and I just asked about. I thought, we're going to talk about this tonight. That has had glowing recommendations from people that have mentioned it. I mentioned it to them, saying, "Hey, this is coming up." And they've said, it's bloody awesome, already do it. So, mate, the Money Whisperer, it's new. And what I love, he's always talks about stuff where he's got some skin in the game, whether it's crypto, whether it's kids' bank accounts, whether it's fixed interest rates. So he's not just some flog sitting on the outside just pot-shotting. He's actually involved. I love it, mate. He's good value.
Mate, he's great value. So there you go, spriggy.com.au. Now, Donnie, we did put the challenge out to our listeners during the last show. We said, tell us about your favourite ice cream. And we had some good responses, and we said what we would do is we would put them into a draw. And when you go into the draw, the winner
draw? Soft draw?
The big wheel draw. And the big wheel.
The big wheel.
Whoever wins on the big wheel gets a $100 tradie.com voucher to spend online.
Get stuff like date night sprays, JT.
It's exactly right. There is a lot of stuff on their website. They've even got, very handy right now, they've actually got a, what do you call it? A cold vest. You get a heater, like a heater pack. And so you wear it, and it's got a built-in heater. I mean,
from tradie.com.
From tradie.com.
Get that there.
Yep, get one there. So you would want to win. So we've put the names on the wheel, and now hopefully I've got it right. I probably stuffed it up again. If we did stuff it up, you will let me know. We're going to draw it. But the other exciting thing is we've also got another challenge for our listeners again.
I forgot.
Well, I'm going to tell you as soon as we draw this wheel right now. So do you reckon do we draw it now? You reckon, Donnie? Or do we wait? Do we do it now, or we wait? We do it now.
Do it.
All right, I'm going to try.
Because we're going to do another one later too, or something.
Are we? Okay.
Another.
Who knows what we're going to do? All right, here we go. Good luck for
Nick's always got something. Some dodgy units on there, isn't there?
$100 tradie.com voucher is going to go to Spiro. Could be getting the money here. I reckon it's done. There we go. Spiro. Boom. Congratulations, Spiro. You have got yourself a $100 tradie.com voucher. Congratulations. And we'll be talking to, of course, Mick Duffy from Big Cat Yarra Valley Beer Company very soon.
They've got lovely embers to drink.
And I think he might have something up his sleeve for Mother's Day too, just quietly.
He always does. That's what I like about Mick. He's always got something.
He's a man of many talents. He just thinks ahead.
He's a man of men.
So we'll be crossing him soon. But before we do that, I thought, every week I just like sharing a few videos that I find on this little thing called TikTok. It's time for TikTok. I thought I had more on the stinger there. I need to add a bit more music. I think that was just
TikTok's all short stuff, so that makes sense.
That's a very good point too. And look at that, Spiro's listening in, and he's pretty happy with himself. So congrats, Spiro, on winning that prize. $100 tradie.com voucher. Why wouldn't you be happy, right? Now, this little thing called TikTok. Now, there's lots of different videos there. You find some gross stuff, some funny stuff, some sad stuff, some emotional stuff. So I just try and pick a little bit of everything. And I thought, well, the first one I want to sort of go with is sometimes when you're a little bit achy, you're a bit sore as you get older, and you're like, oh, geez.
JT, I'm not going to put it today, mate. I'm hearing you.
Exactly right. And, I'm in the wars at the moment as well. You're like, oh, bloody hell, it's hard work. Well, I'll tell you what, I've found someone that my new hero. I was going to put him in Hero of the Week, but this is just something you've just got to see to believe. Have a look.
Let's have a look.
I hope the video works. Watch this guy. He's about 70. Does it every day. Goes to the park and does it every day.
And what's he do, JT? Because we can't say to the listeners, watch that, because they're going, you flog, we're listening.
That's a very good point.
What did he just do, JT?
The only way to explain that is he was on the swing and he did a full backflip off the swing bang. In his 70s, does it every day at the park. I couldn't even do it right now. I probably never could do it.
And deliberately does it. It's not like
Yeah,
old man taking a fall.
That's exactly right. In the other TikTok video, it's when it didn't quite go to plan, but we don't want to show that. It's all good news here. So now,
That's
Donnie,
the one that went viral.
Donnie, I'm going to just say it. I can't sit on the fence anymore. I know we've got to be politically correct and all this sort of stuff. Right?
No, we don't. Not on this show.
Well, this cancer culture. I get the feeling they're gonna come at me, Don. I feel it, but that's exactly right. Stuff it, because this is true, and I am not going to take a backward step around what I think is true, Donnie. I am very, very fired up on this one, Donnie. Of course, what I'm talking about is car parking and that women cannot park, particularly reverse parking, Donnie. I'm saying it. I put it out there. Women cannot reverse park to save themselves.
My beautiful first wife, mate, she reverse parks better than I do. So, JT, you're on your own here.
I'm
Ladies,
out.
hear me out. JT's on his own here. We normally stick together on shit, but not on this one.
I love the way he just throws me under the bus. I mean, we rehearsed
you got,
this and you
JT?
said, let's go with it. I was like, what do you mean? Well, anyway.
You have some evidence, though. You always got evidence.
No. The good news is, Donnie, I've thought, you know what? We can't just leave it like this, because, it's very traumatic. I know a lot of women, they see a reverse spot and they go, oh, I'd like to park there, but no, I'm not going to do it because I'll probably end up hitting something or I'll embarrass myself. And I thought, you know what? It's time to come up with a solution. So solution here is technology. This is how it's going to happen in the future, Donnie.
Right, future.
Have a look.
Watching this. Oh, turn it up. That's not bloody reverse parking.
Here we go. What's this?
That is genius.
Look at
Tell me,
this.
JT.
Look at this.
Oh, bullshit.
There we go.
JT,
That's how you do it in the
explain
future.
Explain that, JT. What's just happened?
We just saw a car just pull up again, and I'll just play it again so I can talk you through it. But pretty impressive. It just pulls up to a parallel park, and the wheels actually turn and just shunt it into the car park. I don't know how to explain that, but it's bloody impressive. Then a Jeep comes in, and the old spare tyre at the back just drops down and wheels him into the spot. Bloody brilliant.
Oh, JT, that is very impressive. And up until we get that sort of technology in all of our cars, JT, I'm going to give you a little tip. When you're reverse parking, a nice little one for you is drive back. You pull up parallel beside another car. And as you're reversing back, when your driver's side gets to their back door, right, hard lock, 45 degrees, and then bring it in there. And as soon as you're there, just wind it back in and you'll park beautifully every time, JT.
We're still talking then. Oh, sorry. Yeah, great advice. There you go. So that's how you do the reverse parking. Or you just look at the little screen in your car and just follow the lines that take you.
Oh, that's
back
those fancy cars, JT.
Yeah, the fancy cars. The fancy ones actually park it for you now. So, we probably want to get one of those. Now,
crypto's got to go up a little bit more.
Now, I did say that TikTok does show a bit of stuff, and this one's a little bit. There's a little bit. This is in the gross category, so warning, gross. But you just got to go with it and just look for the expression on the face at the end.
Right, I'm watching. What do you got?
Can I play it?
In close here, JT.
Are you ready? I guess. Okay, yeah. Just put your hand through. Yep. A little lower. Yeah. Keep going. Yep.
Ew, what is this?
Yep. Let's go all the way through.
Oh my god!
Keep going. Okay, cool. Now take your hand
Just
up.
watch the expression though.
Yep. Nice and slow. Nice and slow.
Adam, what the heck
JT. Well, it's gross, but it's gold. Now,
I thought it
you
was
want to
fun.
explain that? I reckon just send people to YouTube to watch
yeah,
that one.
you got to watch that one.
Send them
I'm
to our
sorry.
channel.
It was gross but funny. And the last one is, well, Donnie, I mean, I know you're into your four-wheel drives. You've got a nice new machine that coming along. And, well, one of the big things, the exciting things about having a four-wheel drive, of course, is the river crossings. We all love a good river crossing, right? What could possibly go wrong on a river crossing?
No. It's that advice. Do not drive in floodwaters. Okay, what do you got? Let's have a look.
Well, I'm trying to find it. There we go.
Right, here we go.
I had to mute the audio, but let's just say it was the Bee Gees drifting away. Now it started off here. We got a car just crossing the river here, and it's going a little bit to the right. That's probably not ideal. Oh, it's stuck. That's okay. We'll be able to fix this. A guy's just run in to try and help, but no, now it's straightened up, and now she's just heading down the river. And at this point, I'd be going, "Oh shit, this is probably not good."
I'd be pushing for reverse.
That's and it just continues to go, and actually just takes off.
You'd probably just jump out, wouldn't you?
It's getting a bit scary at this point, isn't it? Like it's like.
Goodbye.
Off she goes. Bloody hell, right? That's so there you go. That's TikTok. Every week they just have all these weird and wonderful videos. My job is to just try and bring you the ones that are relatively entertaining.
That was.
All right. Now, Donnie, our next segment, of course, is it's our life hacks, and we're going to go into our life hacks, and then straight after life hacks, time to talk to Mick Duffy straight after life hacks. So that's exciting. So here we go. Life hacks.
JT, I've got a couple for you, quick ones. Mate, now, I must admit, I almost lost my shit today. The beautiful first wife brings back all the shopping she's gone out and got, and I go to put it away in the fridge, and there is shit stacked up at the back. Hasn't been reached since it was put there back in 1902. And I'm just thinking, how do we get around this, JT, so that we'd stop buying stuff and just pushing it in? And this is it, JT.
How do you do it?
Yourself a Lazy Susan. Get a Lazy Susan. It's got the little spinny bit, and we see them on tables.
Oh, the ones at Chinese restaurant ones.
Yes. You don't need to be at the Chinese restaurant. If you can go there and get one, good. Put up your jumper. But stick that in your fridge, JT, and you just spin it around, mate. You just get nothing ever in the back anymore. It's bloody genius. So there you go. There's one. And I've got one other for you, JT. JT, have you ever gone to get your sheets out? You know, that new sheet feeling.
Oh, nothing better. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, there's a few things better, but that's a good one. That's right up there. And you go and you spend bloody 20 minutes in the linen cupboard trying to find the right pillowcases for the right sheets.
Never find, and they're all over the place. Drives me nuts.
And then you end up having odd shit. This is it, JT. This is what you do. From now on, get your pillowcase, right?
Yeah.
And just fold up your sheet and stick it in the pillowcase. Bang in the linen cupboard, walk in there next time you need it, grab it out, all in one hit. Happy days.
Happy days. That's a brilliant one. So there you go. So they store the sheet sets inside the pillowcases, never lose them again. Brilliant. I ain't going to do that.
Bingo. You're welcome.
Well, there you go. All right. Now, Miranda did, one of our listeners did raise something a little bit earlier around the Woolworths trolley. Now, to remind everyone of the Woolworths trolley, there was a Coles hack that we showed a couple of weeks ago. Here it is as a reminder.
Show me the life hack that you randomly saw one day that is now an unconscious standard practice.
So those little sort of half trolleys there, they just slide right into those self-service checkouts. I thought, well, that's bloody brilliant. So I was very excited then. I went down to my local Woolies and just like Miranda, clunk, freaking straight. It didn't slide over the top. It went straight into it. And I thought, this is ridiculous. This is bullshit. We've given our listeners a life hack. And it didn't go. No, it didn't work.
It's a death hack. So why didn't it work, JT? Like, are we in opposition territory?
No, outrage. So it turns out that Coles are rolling out the change at their supermarkets nationally. They're not all done. So hundreds of supermarkets will have them done. So you will see signs, Miranda, coming up saying park your trolley here. The stickers will be on the checkouts that support the new format, but Coles are rolling it out nationally to all stores. And Woolworths have also confirmed that they are currently trialling lowering the basket shelf so trolleys could fit at 200 stores nationally. So there you go. It may be coming to a Coles or Woolworths near you soon.
JT, it is in some already because I did get somebody very excited by your life hack and they sent that in to me. And so theirs had worked. So unfortunately, Miranda, you live in a shit joint, sell your house and move to another place.
Oh, geez, harsh. Now, this is the very exciting moment where we get to do not one, but two live crosses on the show. And this time we're going to be going to none other than Mick Duffy himself. So through the magic of internet and the power of button pushing down the bottom here, we are going to be dialing in Mick.
Reminding me, JT, have you pushed record so far?
Of course I have. We are nothing but professional here on the Giddy Up podcast, Donnie. So here we go. We're going to dial him in. Do we have him? There he is, the big Mick.
There he is. G'day, Mick.
JT, Donnie, how are you guys?
Mate, we're better for looking at you, eh?
Beard.
Look at that. I know.
Look at that. Geez, if you can't see this, it's your own fault. Kids, stop listening and tune in one day. You'll see Mick's beard. It's bloody beautiful.
Don't try that at home.
That is fantastic. Now, Mick, we had a great segment a couple of shows back where we got some ripper stories sent in. You gave everyone a bit of a spine tingler on the first one, and then we had to wipe out all the Elgin ones for the last one.
Yeah,
and we
so
had
thank you for doing that too, Mick.
That'd be a show in itself. But what are we thinking for the next one, Mick?
Yeah, you're right, JT. We've had our mysterious stories, which linked up with our mysterious ale, one of our beers, and then our legendary family stories, which linked up with our legendary lager. And we've just brewed up a fresh batch of our elusive stout. So what we're thinking with this one, it was a bit inspired by what I heard on a few episodes ago where Don was telling us about his first wife, Buff, managing to sneak her into the Olympic Village in one of the Olympics.
Oh, yes.
So what we've decided with this one, with our elusive stout. So this is the stout bottle here.
Oh, look at that! Hang on, we've got to get you on the big screen. Here we go.
We got a wide shot.
Here we go.
Hold that up. Oh, if you
get around it, guys. The elusive stout.
Yes, that's one of our big long necks of the elusive stout, which is, like I said in the last episode, is really good on these sort of cold nights. It's been bucketing down here tonight, but I reckon we're in for a bit of cold weather coming up. But what we want the viewers and listeners to do is to send in their stories, just like we've done the last couple of times, but send in their stories of how they've been elusive or how they've managed to sneak themselves into somewhere where they probably shouldn't have been. So just like we've done in previous times.
This will be entertaining, Mick. I like where you're at.
I do like that indeed. And in fact, I remember, there's probably a few nightclub stories of, just sneaking your mates into the old nightclubs back in the day. And I reckon there's going to be some rippers, Mick. So I'm looking forward to hearing what our listeners bring in. Now, Mick, if they do take the time to send us in a great story, I'm guessing there are some pretty exciting prizes that might be on offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna go through them all, and again, have that tough decision of picking a winner, and then the person with the best story of how they've been elusive to get in somewhere where they shouldn't have been will win a case. 16 bottles of our long necks of the elusive stout. So we'll
Hey, I tell you what we might do is send them all for me for proofreading, just so I can take out the ones that might involve me.
Now, Mick, I thought we'd just throw you on the spot a little bit for this one because the wheels it's cranking at the moment. We got the wheel. We just gave away $100 trading.com voucher. And I thought what we could do right now, because Mother's Day is coming up, Mick, and we don't want to put you on the spot too much, but I was thinking if people just happen to comment what their favourite movie is in the comments now. Favourite movie. And if they tell us what their favourite movie is.
It's in favourite movie. Mick, have you got something we can give them a prize if
we just throw them on the wheel? You reckon Yarra Valley Beer Company, you reckon do something here?
Oh, I reckon that sounds like a pretty good plan, JT. I'm more than happy to do that, mate. If you want to bring that wheel up, what we've got for them for Mother's Day coming up this Sunday, everyone, so don't forget. For the great mums out there, listeners of the Giddy Up podcast, we've got a beer that we brewed up, which is a summer sour. Now, this is brewed with fresh apricots and raspberries. It's a nice tasting beer. It's almost got a bit of a sort of cider feel to it. So it appeals to we found it really appeals to the female customers of ours. So let's do it, JT. If you want to throw that wheel up, and we'll make sure we get some sours to the winners.
Fantastic. That's bloody exciting. So there you go, everyone. You have got an amazing opportunity to win that right now. All you got to do is just type in your favourite movie in the comments, and I will then tally them all, whack them into the big wheel, draw it, and then there's a prize. So, Mick, thank you, mate, for putting that up. That's bloody awesome. We will do that draw. I'm going to tell a joke. We've got a bit of a media watch. We're gone over an hour already, Donnie. We're going to get cranking, and then we'll do this draw right at the end. So, Mick, thank you, mate.
Hey,
and yes, Donnie?
Just as we let Mick go, I wanted to say thanks, Mick and the Yarra Valley Big Cat Beer Company, for thinking of mums. Like, how bloody important are mums? And for you guys to go and just beer something up just to because of mums. I love it.
New expression.
Beer it up. Let's go. Good on you, mate. You're a champion.
I had to reverse the damage that JT did with the reverse parking before, so we're going to look after the mums there and do that. And I'll tell you what, JT, if you put them on the wheel, and for the mums out there, the listeners, if they aren't successful on your big wheel, what they can do is just send us a message on our Instagram page. All the mums out there, the listener mums, and we'll make sure we get you a couple of bottles of our sour to have on Mother's Day. So
look at that, guys.
I'll do that.
Mick, what's your Instagram page?
And send us a message with your details, and we'll get them your way.
Just hit us up
And just tell us what it is, Mick. Your Instagram page?
Well, the Instagram page is just Yarra Valley Big Cat Beer. So just jump on there and just send us a message. The mums out there in the Giddy Up podcast, send us a message with your details, and we'll get you some summer sour your way to enjoy.
Oh, he's smooth, isn't he? Bloody hell, that's a bloody great offer.
Not saying
So
mums are sours.
he's very smooth. Awesome, Mick. Thank you, mate. We look forward to having you back on next week to announce the winner of the best sort of story of someone smuggling in somewhere. We're looking forward to that. So
absolutely.
Good on you, Mick. We'll see you next week.
Good one, Mick.
Thanks so much, guys.
Good to see you, and good to see your beard too, mate. I love it. Double act.
Thanks, mate. See you.
Bloody exciting offer. It's fantastic to have
good
sponsors
is Mick?
on the show, and Mick's been fantastic, and we hope their business does well. When you got a great drop like that, why wouldn't it? And I mean, with the promotional boost that they get from being on the Giddy Up podcast, it's a match made in heaven.
I tell you what, if you'd like to talk about sponsoring the Giddy Up podcast,
we're available. 1-300, call us. We're desperate.
Hey, JT,
yes.
there was a word come in that we might have got an invite to do a OB, an outside broadcast, up the bush. So we'll talk about that off air. But
very, very
just letting
exciting.
the listeners know that we might be going bush if we can make it all happen somewhere down the track. So
that is bloody exciting. Stand by for that one now. First OB could be big. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of alcohol involved. Now, Donnie, we're moving on to our segments because we're gone over the hour, so we've got to fly through these. We are just going to fly straight onto Down Under, because basically what that means is this is a professional way of technically stalling while I type everyone's names into the big wheel.
So you do the typing, I'll do this bit. Oh, yes, I've got this one. But JT, I might need you to throw up one photo for me if you will.
I've got that all sorted, ready to go, mate. So we are throwing straight over to you for our Down Under segment. You bloody mongrel!
You bloody mongrel. Now, JT, normally Down Under refers to something that happened in Australia. I've sort of just gone a little bit off Australia, but off as in out the water a little bit. JT, get your listening gear around this. The Great Barrier Reef. JT, I'll say it again. The Great Barrier Reef. Tony Childs. Remember Tony Childs? Bloody Tony Childs. She's a good singer. Anyway, Tony Childs. JT,
Who's she, Tony?
You can't hear me because I'm underwater. And that's exactly where she's going to be, JT. She's doing she's a Grammy-nominated singer, by the way, JT. Going to do an underwater concert, JT, to help save the reef. And that's not to say that she's going under there and her singing's underwater so the reef won't hear it and then the reef will live. It's to say that it's to raise awareness, a massive big gig it is for the Great Barrier Reef. It's bloody awesome that big-time superstars like Tony Childs is going to do that concert. She's got her own headpiece made up, JT, a big air bubble, and some underwater speakers. It's going to be a cracker. And so I just thought anyone who's going out of their way to make our country better, whether it's preserving a bit of the reef, whether it's just doing good stuff in our community, we love that sort of stuff. And that is why we're featuring Tony Childs doing her Great Barrier Reef concert up near Cairns. It's going to be a ripper, JT. 80-foot dome. And it's part of a 360 art installation which is travelling around Australia. And you'll see it if you live regionally. And if quite a few of our listeners do live regionally, JT. My old mate Swifty, she's out there. Anyway, it's all to support the Great Barrier Reef legacy and their coral bank. And I know you're a fan of coral, JT. You've grown
I do love coral. Now, I wasn't sort of being. I didn't want to be mean, Don, but I was sort of saying, sorry, who? Tony Childs. Honestly, I'd never heard of her. And
really?
No, I never heard of her. And I thought, well, you know what? Look, that's a bit harsh. So anyway, the good news is, Donnie, because if you're going to do a big concert like that and you're going out big and you're going, I'm going to do this, I'm going to save the reef, you've got to have rehearsals.
Yes, you'd have some footage
especially
of that,
if you're underwater. You would think, well, shit, things could go wrong. And
let's hear the sound quality, JT.
Mate, I didn't actually get the audio, but let's just say I did get some footage of the aftermath of the first rehearsal, Donnie.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And it
and have you got it? Oh. Oh, JT. Oh, no. See, that's what happens when you got too much time on your hands.
I don't know if the fish really appreciated the sound quality, Don, is all I'm suggesting.
No, JT, she's a fantastic voice. And even Sarah said she's got a brilliant voice. It's what's really important is that people are doing their bit to help our country, JT.
No, it's fantastic news. Good on you. I think it's bloody fantastic. And apparently she's got Sarah just said she's got a brilliant voice. So now Sarah says that she's got a brilliant voice. Who am I to argue?
Sarah knows.
Exactly right. So fantastic.
Our content comes from Sarah.
All right. Now we are going to keep moving, Donnie, because it is time it is the time for what could be arguably the best segment of the whole show.
Ooh.
Dad joke of the week.
There's no arguing, JT. This is what they've come for, mate.
This is what the people want. Now, Donnie, the Pope, the big fella, the Pope is early for his flight. So he asked the driver on the way to the airport, he said, could I just drive for a while? Because he goes, look, we've got a bit of time to kill. And I just haven't driven a car since I've become the Pope. I've sort of missed just driving around.
Yeah, fair enough.
So he goes, oh, yeah, why not, So naturally, he's a bit rusty. He hasn't driven for a decade or so. So he's driving pretty poorly when suddenly he sees police lights come up behind him. So he gets pulled over and the officer comes up to the window and his eyes just go wide. He says to the Pope, he's on, hold on a minute. And he just goes back to his car and he radioed the chief and he goes, mate, Chief, we've got a situation here. And the chief's like, well, what is it? He goes, well, I pulled over a really, really important figure. And the chief's like, well, how important? Is it a governor or something? And he goes, no, sir, he's bigger. He goes, well, what? Is he a celebrity or something? No. More important than that, sir. She's like, well, he's a major politician. He goes, no. He's much more important. And she's like, well, bloody who the hell is it? And he goes, well, the cop goes, well, I'm not bloody sure. But he goes, but the Pope's his driver.
That's good, JT. I like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's good. Give yourself a round of applause for that.
All right. I will.
Because I remember the last time you brought the Pope to a dad joke.
We should do a few reminiscent of a few older jokes, shouldn't we? Because I don't think a lot of people heard our early shows, and we had some of our best jokes back then. Now, a woman, Don, has twins and gives them up for adoption.
Oh.
Now, one of them goes to a family in Egypt, and his name is Amal. And the other goes to a family in Spain, and they name him Juan.
Juan.
Yeah. So years later, Juan sends a picture of himself to his birth mother. Very nice. And upon receiving the picture, she tells her husband, she said, I wish I also had a picture of Amal. And he just responds, he says, well, they're twins. If you've seen one, you've seen Amal.
Oh, JT, that is classic.
Bloody hell.
That's bloody good. Well done, JT.
Thanks.
I'm probably
Now this is the bit where we call this Media Watch, and basically what we do is we try and just give you any interesting clips that we see around the world. And Donnie, this one is a tribute to you, my friend, because we were talking about our favourite ads. And we did show one, not Happy Jan was the one we showed on our last show. And Donnie, I believe this might be one of your favourites.
This monster burst out and he ate my whole guts and he ate my whole body and then he ate my cat. This octopus came out the bathroom and he grabbed me and he squeezed the blood out of me. Crocodile came up, bit my guts out and bit me into parts, pieces, and even my legs went that way and even my head went that way.
How good's that kid?
Oh, mate, JT, I was reliving that ad playing football today. My leg went this way.
You could be the new HBA commercial. You've done a commercial for, was it Westpac? I think it was maybe.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah, we might have to roll that one out again, I think, soon. Now, Donnie, you did say that we do have a lot of people that listen to us out in the bush, out in regional Australia, and there was a bit happening down at Nowra.
Ooh, what's happening?
Well, I'm just
What have I missed?
going to show you a bit of footage while I talk about that. Now, if you're scared of birds, look away or stop listening because bloody hell, have a look at this. The cockies
That is
just
a
came
shitload
to
of birds.
Nowra and just took over. I'm not kidding you. They were going down chimneys, coming out into people's houses. It was like something out of Alfred Hitchcock's The Bird movie. It was
bloody like out of Harry Potter, that is.
it was, it's insane footage, isn't it? There's literally just thousands of birds just covering every square inch of the road and the roofs, etc. So there you go. That was the a bit of footage I thought I'd show you this week for Media Watch.
Good on you, JT. Well picked up.
Oh, do what I can.
Imagine all the bird shit over the cars.
Oh, it wouldn't be
after
good, wouldn't it? Wouldn't be good. All right, Donnie, this one's over to you. You bloody mongrel. Now, I know what you're thinking, Donnie. We've already done this one. Now,
I was sort of just thinking, shit, what have I missed? Then I'm thinking, no, I've done this. That's all good.
so I'm trying to think of a really clever way of getting out of stuffing that up, and I've really got nothing. So that brings us to the final fling, Donnie. So we are going to show the final
JT's
fling, and then we are going to do the wheel. So give us the final fling,
Right, final
Donnie.
fling,
Final fling, and then we're going to give away a prize. So here we go.
JT. Now, with all this movement, a lot of people in the world of business are getting back into the office and moving back in front of people. Typically, what that does is it puts you back in front of people. And if we haven't been in front of people for a while, that can sometimes conjure up a few different thoughts and fears for some people. But one thing that I thought of that is a fear for a lot of people in offices in particular is something I bloody love it. It's not a fear for me, but it is a fear for a lot of people. Allegedly, around 75% of our population, JT, have glossophobia.
How do you say that again, Donnie?
Glossophobia. Glossophobia. Did I get that pronunciation?
Yeah,
right?
glossophobia.
It's a shit word, glossophobia. It's the fear of public speaking, JT. Now, I wanted to give the lovely listeners a couple of tips because this is something that I know, like whether the kids at school got to do a speech or whether it's you're going back into the office and you've got to talk about whatever it is, new marketing campaigns or some bloody thing. And here's a few tips, JT, that will help you be a better public speaker.
Love it.
And first one I've got for you is know your shit. Be prepared. Do your research. Be ready to back yourself knowing that you are the best person to be on the stage at that moment. So, and the best way to have that feeling is knowing that you're prepared. The next one is perfect practice makes perfect. So not just practice makes perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. So do it in front of a mirror, do it in front of your family, do it in front of a camera and watch it back. And then give yourself a fair income review. If it's good, bloody roll with it. If it needs some work, then have a crack at that too. Do the work you need. I want you to pay attention, JT. Pay attention to the material at hand. Where people normally get a bit overwhelmed when they're public speaking, JT, is they get distracted by the audience, by other things. You're not there to talk about the audience. You're there to focus on what you've got. So focus on your material at hand. That's really important. And don't be afraid of the sound of silence, JT. The sound of silence. And most people feel silence with an and you'll hear it at the start of sentences. They're not sure what they're going to say, that pregnant pause, so they'll fill it with or then just take a breath, reload, and then deliver what you need to deliver. So JT, that is my little tip, my final fling for this week to help people that might find themselves in a situation, whether it's a wedding coming up, whether it's anything at all that you actually have to speak in front of other people. Those few tips might help you out. All the best.
Well done, Donnie. I love always your final fling. And you're right, public speaking is a huge fear for people. And often people would rather die than do public speaking. A lot of people are absolutely petrified of it.
Which is an extreme sort of measure, isn't it?
Yeah, I would have thought so. and when you say the word God, now I'm really conscious that I'm going to be saying all the time now. So I'm glad we did this at the end of the show and not at the start of the show. Now, it's come to this really exciting moment. We're going to draw the wheel. So this is for a fantastic prize, thanks to Yarra Valley Big Cat Beer Company. So good luck to everyone who is on the wheel. Now, before we go, we will be back probably next weekend or thereabouts for our show. Donnie's off in Queensland next week, so we won't be doing it during the week. So we'll look to do our next show on the weekend. Remember, if you do love the show, please just take a couple of seconds, share the show, like the page, subscribe to the podcast or YouTube channel, etc. We're doing our best to grow this show, but we can't do it without you guys helping us. So look for all the ways you can do that on our website at giddyyuppodcast.com.au. And now it is time to draw the wheel as we go live to
that wheel, JT. Let's get that wheel. Don't forget to tell your mates. Tell your mates to tune in. There's a chance they'll win a prize. Right,
here we go.
There it is.
Good luck to everyone who is on the wheel.
Right, that sucker's spinning, JT. Good luck, humans.
Spiro could no. Spiro's not going to do the double. Is it going to go to Rosie? Is it going to be? It's a liner. Let's go on with Ben. It has selected Ben. Benny, congratulations. Ben, you've just picked yourself up a few beers from the Yarra Valley Big Cat Beer Company.
Oh, I'll tell you what, he won't mind sucking them back at all, JT. He will not mind.
I'll
and I tell you
what,
JT, you know what? How crazy is this, JT? He's just picked up a few beers and all he had to do was type in Mad Max. Well, that's what Ben Scott typed in. That was his favourite movie.
Mad Max. And, interesting.
Yeah, there you go. So I wonder if he's Beyond Thunderdome. That was another good one, wasn't it?
Oh,
Two men enter, one man
it was a
leave.
good one. It was a good one. Well, there we go. That brings us to the end of the show. Thanks so much for listening. We still went bloody over, Donnie. I don't know what we're doing, mate.
How does that happen?
I don't
Too much
know.
research, I think we've done, JT.
I thought we were on it tonight. I thought we were sort of going okay, but apparently not. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and we look forward to seeing you on the next show of the Giddy Up podcast. Bye for now. This is your bit, Don. I'll just throw it to you because you got to. I just want you to do that.
Listening for this bit.
I like the way you just work your way into it. It's like you're in front of goals, just lining it up for a big 6-pointer.
Giddy up. Oh, might have gone early.
Yeah, I know. It was not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. So thank you very much. If you are listening, we've just killed the podcast. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. We had a lot of fun doing tonight. And Donnie, any final words of wisdom or anything that we want to share?
Well, I tell you what, JT, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to our loyal listeners that rock up every time. Sometimes they'll get a text message or they'll jump on, they'll see us on Facebook and they'll get a message, a notification, go, shit, the boys are on tonight. And you turn up and we bloody love it. We absolutely love it. It's fun to do a podcast, but it's much more fun with your interactions and your comments. And sometimes your comments might not make it up onto the screen.
But we still laugh, trust me.
I'll just start laughing because I can see the ones you've said. So your comments make it bloody fun for us. And usually the ruder the better, I reckon. But no, I think good job. Love your work and thanks for playing. It's awesome.
That's exactly right. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. We have had a heap of fun, and if you've got anything funny, any good stories, remember obviously how you can win next week of sending in some good ways that you can got snuck into somewhere. We like a little stealth.
Yeah, I can't wait for a few of those, and don't hold back on those either. They're going to be good.
That's exactly right. All right, bye everyone.
Right,
have a great week.
Bye.